Get you on the screen here. Thank you very much for joining us this week for our Ravery Sports Podcast, the Baltimore Sports Podcast. Sorry about that phone ring as I was talking. So thank you for joining us this week on our Ravery Sports Podcast, the Baltimore Sports Podcast for fans like me. Definitely like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. If you like this type of content, Baltimore sports content, you can go to you can watch us as you're watching us right now. You're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. One day, I promise you, I'll get it right. Genesis Notary Services is my notary business. You can go ahead. We'll go out if you're in the Shenandoah Valley area. We'll go ahead. You can book an appointment live right there on our Genesis Notary Service Facebook page, ravorisports.company.site. This website, you can buy all of our Baltimore sports products right on the website, live right there on the site. The Ravery Sports Tour is coming this summer. We're going to go ahead. We're going to announce it pretty soon here. We've got about a few weeks finalizing still everything. The Ravery Sports Tour will be out in Frederick, Hagerstown, White Post, and Baltimore. Selling proud. So definitely check us out when we go ahead and do that. All right, let's get to it today. Thank you for joining us here. Music want to play itself there. We don't want that. Bears like, because we're here to talk about football and baseball and basketball, NBA playoffs today. So today we're going to go over the Ravens depth chart. So now we're at the point of the season here with the NFL. Okay, so now we've had our off-season start. We've had the draft. We have every significant, by now, significant off-season addition has been made to pretty much the Ravens. Okay, so we're still waiting maybe a Marcus Peters to be added, or Justin Houston, or Pierre Paul, or something like that. Maybe one of the players. But now at this point, after the draft, now we know. Okay, now we know what the teams should look like. We got Lamar, thank goodness, in the rear view and all that. So what does it look like? So what I'm going to do today is we're going to give you a depth chart for the Ravens. Okay? So a depth chart basically is how the teams start each game. Now, football, it varies wildly. Kind of like a hockey game, guys are coming in and out. Guys start this position, certain pitchers play more than others. But a depth chart. Who's top of the depth chart? Who figures to get the most playing time at each of these positions? Okay, so we got Lamar Jackson as your number one quarterback. He's back with the new. He's now the highest paid player in the NFL. Tyler Huntley goes back to his role as a backup quarterback. At the beginning of the season, he went ahead and re-signed. Anthony Brown is still in the roster, at least for now, third quarterback. If they carry through the whole season, he'll be the top guy going into the offseason. I kind of suspect that they'll carry three, simply because of Lamar's injury history now. I think they'll probably carry three. Harbaugh on and off with that, but I suspect they're going to carry three guys. At running back, J.K. Dobbins. He's going to be your top running back that you have on the team. I don't see enough bell cow from him, and that's not his fault. Coach John Harbaugh really likes to take players in and out. I don't see where they have enough bell cow in him, so Dobbins is going to start. Gus Edwards is going to be your backup. Both of those were injured at the beginning of last year. Both are healthy right from the start. Edwards really looked good at the start of last year. Played well. So I like Dobbins to go ahead and Edwards 1 and 2. A little bit surprised that they brought back Justice Hill. They went ahead and signed him to a contract in the offseason. He's going to be your third running back. Looking at him on special teams line, I think that's as much of the signing for him. He's kind of the Devin Duvernay backup as well. So that's probably it. Project Pat, maybe the best fullback in the NFL. of the few that there are on teams. Even if you're changing the offense, I got no problem with Pat Ricard on your team. It's like you get a fourth fullback, fourth tight end. If you want, I think you can move him there. He doesn't play defensive line anymore, but he's certainly capable of doing that. I heard a lot of, well, you can't have Pat Ricard if you're trying to upgrade the offense. You might do that, but he's versatile enough where you can keep him. I don't see any big problem with having Pat Ricard there. Still, your receivers. Depth chart, first team, Odell Beckham. 18 million good reasons why he signed with the Ravens. He is the newest wide receiver with the Ravens. 1 year deal. So keep that in mind. But yeah, a lot to prove here for Beckham. Easily, he's the best, most accomplished receiver on your team. Rashad Bateman, I still have him on the first team right now. Generally, at least to start camp, he's going to be your number one wide receiver. He's healthy enough to go at the start. He's good enough. I can say this about Bateman. He's certainly good enough if you can ever keep him healthy for a whole season. I don't see any reason why. Why not? Mark Andrews at tight end. Pro Bowl tight end, maybe one of the best three in the league. Maybe Kelsey and Kittle are ahead of him. I think I'd take him with almost anybody else there. Hurt, I would say this. Hurt looked a little bit for the first time last year. Looked like he wasn't Superman. Like he was banged up a little bit at times. So keep an eye on him. Zay Flowers is on your second team. Leave him there for now. I think we'll see how long he stays there. Let's see how Bateman does. But I think he's going to stay on the second team, at least initially at the start. Nelson Aguilar is your fourth receiver. He was outstanding. I think at times in his career, had a good season with Philly. Kind of underachieved with New England a little bit. But he's going to be your starter, your backup there for the three. He'll probably see far less time, I think, than the other guys. At this point, insurance policy. Got it. Nothing wrong with that. Isaiah Likely. Nothing wrong. The thing with Isaiah Likely, he's got to figure out how to play on the field with Mark Andrews. Every time I saw him last year, when he played without Mark Andrews, he looked fantastic. When he played with him, he kind of lost his way. So that would be what I'd be focusing on, him playing on the field at the same time and being productive with Mark Andrews. That's the only thing why I see with him. Third team, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Charlie Kolar. Duvernay for sure will be on the team, I think at least in the special teams role, kick and punt return role. Prochet's going to have to fight for a roster spot. I put him at 6 in case they keep 6. They probably will. But Tylen Wallace, all those guys, they have a shot to go ahead and take that from him. Charlie Kolar is your third tight end. We still don't know really what we have with Kolar. I think he was injured most of last year. Josh Oliver went ahead and signed with Minnesota, so gives him his spot there. Clearly the number 3 here. We still got to see Charlie Kolar. Big question mark there. All right, offensive line. Who is starting? This is a very good offensive line. Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses. No problems at all. Linderbaum, I've said it a couple times. This might be his coming out party as the best center in the NFL this season. Kevin Zeitler and Morgan Moses. A lot of teams wish they had him on the right side. He's been very solid. Ronnie Stanley looked like Ronnie Stanley last year. Thank God. Out for a lot. Injured. I thought he looked like absolutely he belonged there as one of the top tackles in the league. Ben Cleveland, I gave him the nod at center, at left guard, replacing Ben Powers, who's gone. And Lalutu, I have that there. He's second. I have him on the depth chart. We will see how that actually works. Got that. As far as Lalutu, we'll see how that actually works. Pat McCarty, I think I have him in 3 spots as the backup. Ultimately, I think that's what they want. I absolutely could see him starting at left guard. If these other 2 aren't as good, I think Daniel Falele there as the backup, I think is possible. They carried 10 linemen last year. times 11. I don't think they're going to do that again. Usually a team, that's a lot nowadays to carry that many linemen on the active roster this week. But still undecided. Those will be the four names we'll see as the starting left guard to replace Ben Powers. Okay, big noticeable change here. No Calais Campbell anymore. So you got Justin Matabuke, maybe playing for a bigger contract after this. I have Travis Jones in the top spot. I thought it's kind of being slept on. I thought he was really good at the end of last year. Travis Jones was really good. Broderick Washington at the other defensive end, again, good. I think this is why they felt comfortable enough to get rid of Calais. They felt comfortable because he really, he's a good player, veteran player, but I think they felt good about this group here. This is going to be your group, I think, going forward. Two vets, Brent Irvin, back up at the tackle spot. He's a John Harbaugh guy. For whatever reason. John Harbaugh really likes Brent Irvin. He's going to be on the team, I think, as long as he's still an active player as well. And Michael Pierce did take the pay cut, so he's still here. I think he's going to be the backup. There's going to be a lot of depth charts where they believe that he's going to start right away, maybe. I think with his injury history and the way Jones played, I think he's going to be your second string there. Hopefully I had that spell right. Daffy Owe is going to be your outside linebacker starter. Always got to do better. He wasn't as effective. I think he looked good at times. I think his job may be in jeopardy as far as Steph. Although I have him first. I think of all the starters, as a matter of fact, Daffy Owe, I think, is the most tenuous. That actually did start last year. His snaps kind of decreased. You're going to have David Ajabo that he's to fight with. And I didn't put Houston or Pierre-Paul on the list because they haven't signed yet. So there's probably still going to wait till right before camp and sign one of those guys. Keep compensation down. But that's the way it looks as well. Roquan Smith is an inside linebacker. Just signed $20+ million. He's going to be your starter for sure. Probably the captain leader on the team. Patrick Queen. He's on depth chart. He's still there. Patrick Queen, I think, is an outstanding inside line. I thought he's had his best. I thought he's improved. I think he kind of struggled his first 2 years. He's gotten better. I think had it now, you could argue Pat Queen could play with Roquan Smith could play with anybody. But I thought he played well. Probably not going to get an extension from the Ravens, even though Eric Costa went out and said that they wanted to re-sign him. I don't know about that. I don't know if they actually go ahead and do that. Tyus Bowser is outside linebacker. More your set-to-edge guy, stay-at-home guy, not the sack guy. That's probably why he's not gets his main snack, but he's a run stopper over there. I think he's going to get some sacks. A guy like this, he's a run. He may fool people into thinking he's a pass rusher at times, but it's not really what he does. David Ajabo, kind of like Charlie Colhart, didn't play at all last year. Trent Simpson is your right tackle. Is your other inside linebacker. A lot of people are just going to say he's the heir apparent to Patrick Queen. We will see. Malik Harrison kind of fell out of he kind of falls out of favor a lot. Kind of fell in and out of favor a lot. I think he probably stays this guy for sure is probably off the roster after this year. But at the fight for his roster spot, he should be there. Tavius Robertson at right at the other outside linebacker. Good prospect, like fourth rounder. He'll definitely be there. We'll see how his roster spot is after that. I don't think they're so merry. Outside of Roquan Smith, I think this could change a lot. I think it will change a lot. I think they're going to rotate in and out during the course of the year. Marlon Humphrey, no doubt about it. One of the elite corners in the NFL, had an excellent season last year. I thought Marlon Humphrey was outstanding all year long. Marcus Williams, I think, was very good again. Got off to a great start. Had an injury, came back. I thought he wasn't maybe as effective right away. But Marcus Williams is a ball hog. He can go all over the field. Outstanding player. Kyle Hamilton now, strong safety full-time strong safety. Played a lot of nickel last year because Chuck Clark was there. He's moving into that starting. You may see him still at nickel. We'll see what that works. Brandon Stevens, I have him as the nickel back there. A lot to talk about moving him to safety full-time. That's probably right. I'm more curious when I heard that what that actually means. Are you going to bring back Marcus Peters? Are you going to look at another corner? Are you going to look? Because I think the nickel corner, that's like a starter now. That's why I have it there. You got to fill that spot with all 3 wides and everything. So Pepe Williams, between him and Armour Davis, I think he was the better of the two. He definitely got more snaps. I think he struggled a bit at times last year. About right. Like the 4th corner, that's about right for him. Geno Stone is at safety. Geno Stone was really good. I think he filled in for Marcus Williams, no problem having him fill in. Darius Washington was decent enough. I see him more special team guy, contributor. Kai Blue Kelly, he is your brand new safety from Stanford. He's going to be behind Rocky Sin from the Las Vegas Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders. Daryl Worley, also to journeyman nickelback. We'll see how Worley's on it. Worley was actually not bad at the beginning of last year, and we'll see how that goes. Also to one last page here, Justin Tucker, the kicker. Probably the only question at this point with him is he the greatest kicker in NFL history? Unbelievable career for Justin Tucker. Jordan Stout off to a good start, replacing longtime vet Sam Coke. Devin Duvernay is your starter kicker and punt returner. He'll be backed up, I think, by Justice Hill. I think that's what you saw last year when Devin went out. Got to get him healthy. And Nick Moore is your long snapper there. So Ravens play a lot of attention and special team. All right. There you go. So that's what it looks like. As far as the depth chart, as far as for the Ravens, that is what they're going to send out on the field when the games start. For real. So you're going to have Lamar as your quarterback. Now, good across the board. Biggest concern for me right now is that other corner, that nickel corner. Okay, so you sign Lamar, you sign Rocky Sin. Maybe that'll work. They drafted like Kai Blue Kelly in the 3rd round. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. So, but that's the route that they're going forward. This is what the roster. Now you never know what may happen, but now for the most part, we know. All right, what the Ravens will look like when that season starts. NFL schedule release. So the NFL schedule release, I'll put that up there. That'll be tomorrow. If you're watching this on Wednesday on the first day. So we're going to head and check it out. What the Ravens, the winning and weird opponents, we'll definitely go over that next week when we have the podcast. We will see what the Ravens will look like. All right, so let's go ahead and move to some questions here that we have here. We're going to switch to baseball here. Larger MLB content here before we get to the Ravens and NBA playoffs. All that stuff. Why are the Pirates so surprising? They've kind of fallen back to earth a bit, and I think they've fallen back to earth because their starting pitching isn't as good. A bunch of guys you never heard of. Offensively, I thought they got off to a good start, and also too, they're in a very weak division. We'll see how they continue to do with good teams. So I think what we've been seeing, they lost I think it's 5 or 6 in a row up until recently. It's kind of more what they are than the first one. You can't take too much away from the first one. Their offense is good. Brian Reynolds is off to a phenomenal start for them. I think that's why the Pirates are doing so well here at the start. Anything they do is beyond expectation. I had them at the bottom of the league So we'll go ahead and continue to check that out. Who is the most disappointing player in MLB? Um, I would say this guy's. It's not a complete train wreck, not yet. Juan Soto better start doing something here pretty soon. He was about 240-ish, 250 in the batting average. RBI home run production was good. Not off to a good start again. He turned down a whole lot of money from the Nationals, and he hasn't done particularly well here at the start. So we'll see how this goes going forward with Juan Soto. So I have him as right now your most disappointing in the MLB. Yes, but it's not completely over for him. Not completely over. Wilson Contreras is moving to full-time DH from the Cardinals. Did the Cardinals make a mistake? Gotta say yeah. Gotta say yeah. I want to talk. Oh, I want to put that back. I want to talk about the larger issue here. What we're seeing here. Um, the Well, let's talk about Contreras first. Moving him from catcher to DH, I got no problem with that. I'm not as big on like that. You can't pay a DH money, or you can't do that with a DH. You can't. I don't necessarily understand that, like other people say. I think you need good production from the DH. You need to be a good hitter. If all you're going to do is hit, then that you definitely need to. I think that therein lies the problem with the lot of DH. But if you got a guy like back in the day, like Dave Parker, older Harold Baines who can hit, or there's a lot of guys who can hit and maybe not field. I got no problem with playing the field. The bigger thing here, what Wilson Contreras is, he's an okay enough catcher. That's not going to work in the current baseball climate. That's the thing. That's why they're making the change, because now the Orioles don't have this problem. But if you have JT Mulatto, if you have Sean Murphy, if you have Adley Rushman, these guys are outstanding defensive catchers. They're going to do a great job for you. The average catcher, the hitter, that's not going to work. They're going to go, and I think that's exactly what happened. Since they moved them, they've won more games. That's what they were. That's more behind this than anything else. The current climate of catchers, you can't have a guy that's not going to do well back there. You can't just get away with that. So I have no problem with if they had paid him to be DH at the beginning. I don't think we're even talking about this, but I think because of the fact that they had to do it, because I think of all the offense and the stolen bases and the box and all that and the clock that sped up the game, he might have stayed, but they can't leave him there. When will the A's move to Las Vegas rather, from Oakland after we'll be breaking ground in a new stadium? So they broke ground already. From what I understand, they bought some land in Las Vegas. It makes sense that they would move there. This is a little later. One, it makes all the sense in the world to move to Las Vegas. The sports leagues haven't done it prior to this because of the gambling. Now they're embracing the gambling. They're trying to get that money. And so to have a team in Las Vegas makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue that whether Las Vegas might be a better city than Oakland is to have an MLB team. I got no argument with that. I think the problem is, well, let me address this first before I go there. The city has been saying that they've been starting negotiations and blah, blah, blah. You've had about 20 years at this point. If it hadn't been for Billy Beane, this might have happened a long time ago. And I'm dead serious, because he was able to be there and kind of make, make filet mignon out of McDonald's French fries for so long. They were able to win. So it kind of masked the stadium issue. That's kind of what happened. And now they're in a position where they have to do something. That stadium's old. I would say this: Manfred and the league very openly disrespectful to Oakland fans. This is garbage. Why would these people are paying money to go to the games? And they got to openly hear the commissioner talking about wanting to move. And I don't care if and I understand all the reasons to do it. But show some respect to the fans, which there has been none showed in Oakland. It's ridiculous how disrespectful the league and everybody has been to the Oakland fans during this whole thing. People actually pay money to go to the games. It costs. I mean, last time I took my family to an Oriole game, it costs almost $200 just for tickets. If you're throwing parking, you're throwing popcorn, that's $300. That's a lot of money to a lot of people just to go for one day of baseball. So they're very much disrespecting the fans with all this. I'm definitely a believer in that. And which Orioles are going to the All-Star game? You're gonna have none of this one representative stuff from the Orioles. That's the rule Major League Baseball has, that one player per team, or you say like that has to be on the All-Star team regardless. So Adley, he's going to be your starting catcher in the AL for sure. They have a start. I'm not even sure they started voting. I think Batista for sure. He's going to be there. He's one of the American League leaders in saves. He's definitely going to be there. After that, I'm not sure who you're going to get. I think Cedric Mullins has a shot at it. I think Kyle Gibson has a shot at it after such a good start. And I think, I'm trying to think if there is anybody else. I don't think there is. I don't think there's anybody else that's going to make the All-Star team. I think Jorge Mateo should have a spot. He's not going to get voted in, I don't think, but he should. There should be some kind of spot for Jose Mateo, considering how well he has done. Jorge Mateo, right? How well he's done. All right. So let's go ahead, and we did baseball. We did baseball there for our questions. And now we're going to go to this here. We're going to go ahead and take a look here. Oh, now a long time ago, there was a black film called Why Did I Get Married? Right? Me and my wife watched it. We watched a lot of the Tyler Perry movies. Shout out to Tyler Perry and all the Tyler Perry movies and the Mogul and the Empire and everything that he's got. And so out of that movie, so they did the spinoff. So what was the spinoff? It was called For Better or Worse. You see my man, the toughest man in the world, Michael Jai White. Tasha Smith. My wife loves Tasha Smith. To her to beat somebody up or hit somebody with a frying pan toward the show, For Better or Worse. So we're going to do our version of it. So like I said, with the Ravens, with the league, the balancing act now is over the free agency, all the big free agents, the draft. Who got better and who got worse? Now we're only talking about much better, same, worse, or much worse. Better also too is, did you get better than you were last year, or are you worse than you were last year? Okay. Some teams are good teams, they're the same. Some teams are bad teams, they're worse. Better or worse this isn't a rankings system here that we're doing. Okay. So we're only doing who got better as a team and who got worse as a team. Okay. So we just want to clarify that. You may see some teams in the better categories. Oh, well, not better than no. So it's better or worse. So who got much better? So who's in this category? The Jets. They were the easiest one. They got Aaron Rodgers on their team. They did very well enough with a quarterback to get Aaron Rodgers. They went ahead and signed. The fix was in with Randall Cobb. They got Alan Lazard. They got them guys he wanted. Jets are much better among the best teams in the AFC. Jags got better. Calvin Ridley. That's the signing everybody forgot about. 5th round pick. He got suspended the previous year for gambling. I think he's going to be there. I think also, too, we're seeing the ascension of Trevor Lawrence into a leader in the league. Definitely favorites in that division. Chicago Bears, I think they got better for sure. They had the first round pick. They went ahead and they traded it, which is fine. They went ahead and got into the draft, had a decent enough draft. They had a lot of cap space. They signed a lot of veterans. They got better. I mean, they were really bad, but I think that may not win the division. But they got much better. They're not going to be a 3-win team. When you improve 3 games, and I think they did, that's a much better. The Detroit Lions got better, much better. I think they had I don't love what they did on draft day, but I think the division got worse around them. And I think they have some talent there to go ahead and win the division. I'm still thinking about making them the favorite or not in that division, but they might be. But it's definitely, I think theirs or Minnesota's there in that division. New Orleans Saints there. New Orleans, you get there again, upgraded quarterback. Not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but you significant upgraded quarterback. With Carr on your team, I think they're good to go. I think they could be the favorites as well in that division. Seattle Seahawks, strong draft. Going ahead and get Witherspoon, going Devin Witherspoon, going and get Jackson Smith-Njigba. I thought that was fantastic for them. Strengthening the strength, I think definitely in that division too is ready for the taking. They got much better. Who's in the better category? Okay, so not significantly better, but their moves and things that they did, I gotta call them better. All right, than they were last year. Browns, I think, were better. I think when you get a Deshaun Watson on your team, you're better. You're better for that. I think he didn't play at all. I think he had to kind of round himself into shape, etc. So I like Deshaun Watson there. You got to put him in the better category. The Baltimore Ravens, better category. Odell Beckham is why. Zay Flowers, their receiving core last year was terrible. I kind of said that all year. The receiving core is no longer a problem. They did lose Peters on the back, but I think they'll be good enough there on the back end. They probably can get back Justin Houston or something like that. Good pass rush. They'll be fine. Texans, better. They had the 2 and the 3 pick. I thought they got the best offensive, maybe quarterback on the board, maybe the best defensive player with Will Anderson. They definitely got better. I thought the one reason for them, the biggest reason for them, the coaching. You got a real coach. You got DeMarco Ryans on there for the 49ers, DeMeco Ryans rather. That makes you a lot better with that. They had not so great coaches throughout their history. Bill O'Brien, I wasn't bad. They've had some not so great coaches. Carolina, they got Bryce Young. They got the number 1 pick. They were able to trade for Bryce Young. So they actually made some changes there. I think in the long term, I think they're for better, not a lot better, but they'll have some quarterback play decent enough this year. The Rams, this one might surprise people. Put them in the worst game. I have them in the better simply because I thought they were really awful last year. And they're going to have Stafford back. They're going to have Cooper Kupp back. They're going to have Aaron Donald back. They were so banged up. Note boom and only. I mean, they were so banged up. I think they'll be a little bit better. I don't know if they're elite team, but I think they're a little bit better. Eagles. It was very hard to put in this category simply because they were so good last year already. But man, with the draft, I couldn't. I had to say better. Whether that's better enough to beat Kansas City or whoever's in the Super Bowl, I don't know yet. But they're definitely better. That just really was awesome. The draft was really, really good. So definitely you have them in the for better category. These teams may have lost players, got players, about same. So there's not. Buffalo, about same. They lost some guys. They gained some guys. About same. Buffalo, New England. Mac Jones is still your quarterback. They got Christian Gonzalez in the draft. I don't think they moved one way strong one way or the other. Cincinnati Bengals, they were already really good. They have that great receiving core. I think that's their biggest strength. Joe Burrow is still there. We don't know what's going on with Mixon there. That's the only thing I have to fix. They did get Miles Murphy, I think, in the draft, so that's really good. About where they were. Pittsburgh, same as well. Pickett, I think they're almost going to put them in the better category, depending on how much better Pickett gets. That's the thing. They did go ahead and get some guys in the offseason. I put them about the same, about 8, 9, 8. That's about right. Chargers, about same. They're in the same, and they're closer to worse. They have so many injuries as well. I don't know what's missing with the Chargers. Everybody keeps wanting to figure that out. Like, is it Herbert? Is it the coach? Is it something? Why can't they win more games with all the talent they have? So, about same. Denver, about. I'm not as big on this whole Denver that Russell's going to be better than they were. I think they're about where they were. And also, too, the division they're in is going to be tough for them. Go ahead and win more games and do that. What's that? All right, thank you, Brandon. All right, so we're back in here. About same. Dallas. Dallas, they're about I think where they've always been. They're about in the same spot. Dallas. They signed Mozzie Smith in the draft. They signed Stephon Gilmore in the offseason. They signed. They're closer to for better than same. They're closer to better than same, but they're about same. Kansas City Chiefs didn't have to do anything. Won Super Bowl. They're about saying 49ers, outstanding, good draft. They're about the same. Kind of like lead the same logic with Philly. You know, I had to put them in for better category. They're already really good, so to get a lot better, I don't necessarily have the Super Bowl fate. These teams are worse than they were. Miami at the top of the list. Nobody's convincing me Tua is going to play the whole year. Nothing I've seen where he's going to play the whole year. I think they're going to struggle because of it. Even with the weapons they have, I think you could put it back up in and it would do better. But I put them in the worst category. The Colts, I kind of put them in the worst category for sure. They're going to start Gardner Minshew possibly. That's a downgrade even for Matt Ryan. So I'm not sure about that for them. The Raiders, slightly worse, just barely, and that's because of the little bit of a downgraded quarterback between Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo. It's down enough. I think defensively and offense they have some issues as well. I think defensively they have a good front seven. Their back end is not real good, and I don't think they got better there. So they're for worse. Giants. I don't know. I saw a rumor that Saquon was traded to Kansas City. I don't think that's definitely not true. I don't think, but I think they have issues. Giants, they paid Daniel Jones too much money to get Saquon unhappy about his contract. I don't get it. I thought they were kind of. I almost hate to call a team lucky, but they were definitely fortunate to win a lot of the game. I don't see them winning a lot of the same game. Commanders, Sam Howell starting quarterback. Yeah, that's not going to work. Even that you didn't even downgrade with Carson Wentz. They're one of their two teams. No clue why you're not talking to Lamar. No clue. I can't think of a rational reason why you didn't want to do that. Minnesota is for worse. I've seen enough of Cousins. This guy's not the guy to take him anywhere. I think they got Detroit beating them in back, so they're in the for worse category. Titans, they're definitely worse. They're probably in a fire sale. They're trying to get rid of Tannehill. They're trying to get rid of Henry. I definitely think they're trying to build it back up. I don't think this group is going to get them where you want to go. Packers, without Aaron Rodgers, you're going to drop down. I don't think Jordan Love's the guy. You never know They might surprise you if Jordan Love's the guy because they still have a decent enough team around them. Tampa Bay is sliding. Um, they're in free fall. I don't know what's going on. I mean, Brady's gone. They got a lot of guys older. They're worse. Atlanta. Oh, I cannot get off Atlanta for not interested in Lamar. You even had cap space to do it. I cannot get off it. And they possibly have the worst starter in the league, Desmond Ridder. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. They're for work. In Arizona, no Kyler Murray at the start or maybe all season long. You could put them in the worst category. All right. So shout out to Tyler Perry for better or worse. Those teams were better. Those teams were worse. Ravens, about same. A little better. I thought their receiving core is going to make a difference. You have to have good receivers to go ahead and win in the NFL. And they just didn't have last year. So I think it's important. I don't think you spend all your money on receivers, but they did well enough, I thought, last year with their acquisitions. So good job by the Ravens. All right, NBA playoffs. We'll do a deeper analysis when we get to the finals. So definitely we'll check that out. Checking out some of the games already. As far as the NBA, I've been a Laker fan my entire life. They're surprising me. Lakers are surprising me. Beating Memphis 3-1 against Golden State as of right now. It's the reason why you get a LeBron James and these guys. You get a guy like it, you got a shot. You got a shot. And that's what's happening. Golden State has clearly gotten older. We're all getting older, but you can really see it on the court. They do not match up speed-wise. They didn't match up with Memphis. They didn't match up. They didn't match up with Sacramento. They didn't match up with Sacramento. They don't match up with the Lakers. They shoot the ball well, but they're struggling when they do anything else. They want to talk about two things, NBA here. Mike Budenholzer fired as Milwaukee Bucks coach. He won 72% of the games. More going on behind the scenes. I thought the media did a great job of protecting him or protecting the reasons. Well, you got beat in the first round, and that's what happens when the expectations are high. Nah, it's not what it is. They don't like him. You don't win 72% of the games, and then you go ahead and you get fired. I mean, you got fired. I mean, you lost to an 8 seed, which is Miami. Miami just went to a finals a couple of years ago. We know Miami is not a typical 8 seed. So that's I thought that was bananas that they fired him. This is also too for him. The second stop, he's been good and he gets fired. They were waiting for any opportunity, in my opinion, to fire him because so you got beat in the first round, they got rid of him. You're certainly not going to get a guy with a higher winning percentage wherever you're looking. This is the new thing. Suns talk a little NBA, have a TV deal with great television to broadcast their entire regular season on local TV Arizona channels starting the 2023 season. So it begins. Basically, what that means is they're going to broadcast their games on local TV, and they're going to go do a streaming service for games as well. If somebody just wants to direct stream all the games, contract was up. They're actually being sued by Bally Sports to breach contract. Now, even though they were out of the contract, but Bally's saying they have right first refusal, they should be able to talk to them. So, this is what's going to happen going forward. I think you're going to have the WWE was the first model of it, where the over-the-top stuff like the standard TV, if you just want to watch that all day long, and then also you have our streaming service on top of it. Use WWE for example. So like you could watch the WrestleMania, you could watch SummerSlam, you could watch their pay-per-view events, or you could watch the Stone Cold podcast or whatever live. They have live events on there. But anytime you go on the WWE Network, the way it was now with Peacock, you could go ahead and pick out King of the Ring '94 or something older in the library that you can watch. That I think is going to be the direction you're going to go. ABC, NBC, CBS are hemorrhaging viewers, hemorrhaging, and advertisers are starting to catch on. So I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to be able to stream NBC, ABC, whatever, and then if you want to watch the Peacock Library episode of whatever, you can actually do that. So I think that's why it's relevant to the Baltimore sport, because I think that's going to come sooner or later for a lot of teams. They're going to start doing their own deals. Cable TV is really on its way out. Really on its way. I mean, we've been saying that for a while. It's happening, I think, in 2-3 years. There's going to be very little cable. A lot of these networks it's over, essentially, for a lot of these cables. So we'll keep on that, considering the Orioles' massive disputes. Speaking of the Orioles, glad you brought that up. So the Orioles are playing good teams now. 2 of 3 against Atlanta series. I thought the Orioles did very well in this series considering the loss. Atlanta's outstanding. They're definitely as good as advertised. So the Orioles are now, as of this, they're playing the Rays. So they're going to get squared away. Grayson Rodriguez, I think it's 2 in a row. He won as a starter. Look, what we're all looking for Grayson, and we have a lot of high expectations. We're hoping at the beginning of the 2024 season, he's got it locked in as your number 1 starter. No question. That's what we want to see from Grayson as it is going forward. Grayson, I thought, has a wicked fastball. I thought he's definitely getting better with each start. I think I could see that. Brandon High could see that. I think Grayson was there. ERA still a little high. I think he kind of needs to be more confident. He definitely, to me, looks like a rookie. Looks like a guy that's still a little green. That's kind of what I see with a lot of Grayson Rodriguez. Jackson Holiday, the number 1 pick, now starts in the Class A Aberdeen Ironbirds. So he was just killing it down there in I think it's single A before. Not full season single A. So now he's with the Ironbirds. He's going to go ahead and start now for them. Outstanding job so far from Jackson Holiday. Everything he's been. Interesting to see how this goes with Jackson Holiday. Because they're no longer a team with no shortstop. You're no longer a team with third baseman. You're no longer a team. This is the opportunity to do it in the minors. Will he take some balls in left field? Will he take some balls in right field? Will he take some? Let's see. Let's see how versatile he is, and let's see if that'll go ahead and work in his favor going forward. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure how many minor league games I'm going to get to this year. I'm trying to get to some minor league games as well this year and get that squared away and watch some Ironbirds baseball and some Keys baseball and some, minor league environments as far as games. Really, if you really love the game, it's really something I would tell anybody to do. Definitely less expensive to go. Definitely less traffic, and the arena, the stadiums are small and all that. So definitely check out the Ironbirds. Now that they have Jackson Holiday on the team. Ramon Urias was placed on the IL with a hamstring strain. So very recently, so they're not going to have Ramon. More at-bats, I'm sure, for third base for Gunnar. Gunnar has looked great defensively, I think. So I don't think they're worried about him playing Gunnar Henderson, rather playing every day. I think they can absolutely do that. Placed on the IL with hamstring strain. So he's been playing multiple positions, so it doesn't surprise me that maybe pull something, tweet something, whatever. Also a good start is all a lot of the Orioles are on offense. Orioles have, I think, everything they need on offense. They have everything they need. I think I see good offense. I see outstanding. I see very good offense. I see very, very good defense. A plus defense, and I see a bullpen that's very, very good as well. So they just have to get the starting pitching, and if they can get enough there, this team can do a whole lot as well. So it looks like we have come to the end of our podcast. So thank you for definitely joining us. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, also to Twitch, and I'm getting it right. I'll get it right. So it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, where you're going ahead and you're watching this live. Thank you very much for joining us on the Ravery Sports Podcast. You enjoy the rest of your day.